Okay, Zoomers, quiet down. It's not what you think. Sort of. So picture this. It's 1998 and a new hit game just dropped. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I see some good reviews of it in the Nintendo Power magazine, granted they're probably biased, and I hear from a couple friends that it's a decent game. So I decide to pick it up, play it a little bit, get to the water temple, get bored, and go play outside. Many years later, I managed to get my hands on this god-tier GameCube disc. It's got the one that started it all, the sequel that definitely existed, the one that everyone likes, and the objectively better version of that game that everyone wants to forget because it's creepy as hell. Anyway, I pick up Ocarina of Time again, play it a little bit, get to the water temple, get bored, and go play Majora's Mask instead. See where I'm going with this? I don't think this is the best game of all time. I don't even think it's the best Zelda game on the N64. But I wanted to see why this game inspired such a fervent admiration and white knighting for such a B-tier game. So here's what I did. I set my jaded prejudices aside and looked at this game through the lens of its time. I've heard good things about it, so I rented it from Blockbuster, and now it's the only game I've got for the week unless I really want to go back to Super Mario 64. Ugh. Now that I've got the game, I have to make a choice. Do I want to see everything this game has to offer and risk getting late fees from Blockbuster, or do I want to get my $5 out of it and return it on time? So I sat down, booted up my totally legal N64, and put myself in the right mindset. And you know what? There's a lot to appreciate about Ocarina of Time, even if it's not my personal favorite. The game's groundbreaking Z-targeting system was revolutionary for its time, and its sprawling world was incredibly immersive. But for me, it still fell short in some areas. One of my main gripes with the game is how tedious some of the dungeons and temples feel. Don't get me wrong, the idea of exploring these vast, intricate labyrinths was exciting at first, but after the millionth time waiting for the water to rise or the boulders to pass, the novelty wears off. And let's not even mention the infamous water temple. It's the one temple in the game that made me quit every time I've played it because it's so damn slow. Sure, it might be rewarding when you finally figure it out, but the frustration along the way can really suck the fun out of the experience. But the big question I wanted to answer with this was, why is Ocarina of Time still so popular today? Well, I have a theory. You see, Ocarina of Time has one of the most dedicated fan bases in gaming history. From randomizers to speedruns, fans have found countless ways to keep this game fresh and exciting, even decades after its release. Randomizers, for those who don't know, are mods that shuffle around the items and locations in the game, creating a whole new experience every time you play. It's a great way to breathe new life into an old favorite and adds a level of replayability that wasn't there before. And then there are speedruns. Watching someone blaze through Ocarina of Time in under 5 minutes is very entertaining to some people. But perhaps the most fascinating thing about Ocarina of Time is that even all these years later, we're still finding glitches in the game. From wrong warps to item manipulations, we just keep finding new ways to break this poor game. And these new glitches feed into the whole speedrunning thing, because any glitch that helps you go faster is a game mechanic, not an exploit. So yeah, I came away from this little experiment with a new appreciation of the game. I see why people liked it so much, but I still don't think it deserves the title of best game of all time. But thanks to its very dedicated fan base and the undying flames of nostalgia, it's a game that will never be forgotten. Anyway, YouTube thinks you should watch this video next. So go ahead. What are you waiting for? Click it. You really calling YouTube a liar? You know what? Fair.